Hey there, my name is Dan Martin. I'm a certified fitness trainer and I have been since 2008. Today I want to share with you what I think is the best plan in order to attain optimal fitness. For many people, they think that their optimal fitness plan starts with some hyper intense form of exercise. For me as a trainer, I always take a gentle approach, especially when people are first starting out or making a comeback. The reason behind this is because people can burn out or overtrain really easily, especially when starting or making a comeback. The perfect fitness program to me is one that you're going to keep doing, one that excites you, one that you enjoy, one that you're going to keep doing for a long time. Also understanding that over time, that's likely going to change, and that is okay. Variety, they say, is the spice of life, and I tend to agree with that. As far as my own training goes, I do enjoy variety. I do enjoy switching it up, but I do also enjoy repetition and consistency and seeing gains as I move through a training cycle. So the perfect exercise program to me is one that includes strength training, and that can mean weightlifting, that can mean body weight calisthenics, that can mean kettlebell training. As long as you're doing some sort of resistance training, a couple days a week, pushing it towards 3 or 4 if that's really your jam is great. But 2 days a week of total body resistance training can really, really do a lot. Adding on to that, 1 to 2 days of moderate to high intensity conditioning, and that will depend on your age, both your actual age and what we call your training age, which is how long you've been doing physical activity. And then beyond that, you can fill in the gaps with a ton of what I'm doing right now, which is just low intensity movement. Low intensity movement is one of those things that's just really underutilized by a huge percent of the population because they think it's not really doing anything. When in fact, if it's done repetitively over and over, which it can be because it's low intensity and you can recover from it rather easily, and if it's done repeatedly and it's done regularly, you can get a ton from it. You don't need to even be counting your steps. It's a heck of a lot easier just to take a look at your watch or the clock on your phone and go out and take a walk. If you like to listen to a podcast, like to listen to some music, that's great. I personally enjoy just listening to the sounds of nature. But again, those foundations, a couple of days of total body strength work, and that can mix both upper and lower body, can mix pushing and pulling. Something like a push-up, a pull-up, a squat, and a hip hinge. And when I say hip hinge, I mean picking something heavy up off of the ground using your legs and not your back. Combining those in supersets, and supersets are usually taking 2 exercises and putting them together, working those back and forth. Or you can do circuits, which are more exercises combined together. 3 to 4 sets. For most people, 8 to 12 reps is going to be great for exercise selection, with the caveat being that towards the end range of those sets, they should be difficult reps. Now, as you work through the weeks doing this strength training, you do need to use what's called progressive overload, And that means that you're making it more difficult, whether by adding weight, which is a great way to do it, or adding time under tension, also known as just slowing the rep down. Or if you're adding more volume, which would be adding more sets. But for most people, you'll see progressive overload being used in the way of just adding weight. It's the easiest way to do it. When you do get to the end of, say, 4 weeks of that type of training, you would do what's called a deload and drop down, do the same exercises, but drop down in weight to allow some time for your body to recover. The second thing I talked about is doing moderate to higher intensity cardiovascular conditioning. And again, this will vary depending on how old you are and what your current fitness state is and how long you've been training for. But this can vary anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour even if you're really in shape. And it's just getting out and moving, whether it be running, biking, working out on a rowing machine, working out on a ski machine, working out on an air bike, working out on a stationary bike. And this can be something that's sustained where your heart rate is 140, maybe even a little bit higher. And you can work in intervals, or you can do a sustained output. And then again, the low intensity stuff mixed in. So 2 days of resistance training, 2 days of moderately high intensity cardiovascular work. And you can mix in some strength with that. You know, you can do multimodality cardio. Some people do cardio with rope climbs and kettlebell swings and running mixed together. Totally great to do it that way. That's the way I personally enjoy doing it. And then a couple or few days of low intensity stuff, walking, biking, jogging. We're talking low heart rate below 140, just moving. You should be conversational, meaning you can speak in full sentences while you're moving. Shouldn't be breathing super hard, but you should feel like you've done something when you get done with it. As far as time domain goes on those longer cardiovascular conditioning sessions, start real easy. Start with just 15 minutes. And then the second week, you can add on a few minutes and keep adding on minutes until you're pushing out beyond an hour. So, greatest program in the world is built on simplicity. Get a couple days of strength training. Get a couple days of high intensity cardiovascular conditioning, high or moderate intensity really. And then get a couple of days of lower intensity stuff. And then I always believe in the power of rest and recovery. It's a magic ingredient that a lot of people don't take advantage of. A complete rest day can be a great thing. Now, if you need to get out and walk and move, I totally understand that. I feel like that many times, but don't feel bad just laying around for a day and letting your body completely recover. If you've done the hard work and you've put in the effort, you want your body and you need your body to be able to come back the next week and do more. All right, I'll add a little bit of more information down in the comments just with sample programs and what I think are effective program examples. And if you have any questions about specific programs, feel free to drop them down in the comments. As always, thanks a lot for tuning in, and hit that like button, drop a comment if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Be dropping more of these 10-minute nature walks, waxing poetic on all things fitness, health, and nutrition. If you have any questions specifically or have specific topics you'd like me to cover, drop them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Have a great one. See ya.